25 years ago, my Aunt Mary Lou moved to Europe. She was my only aunt and came from such a large family I couldn't understand why she'd leave everyone. After all this time, my wife and I finally got on a plane to find out why. The story for my aunt started in France, but now is in Jülich in Deutschland. Jülich is home to the Hole, the pride of Jülich, where they're digging for coal, but it's also a great small town, complete with fairs, fireworks, and biking. Then we were off to Cologne, home of the Dome of Cologne, which is convenient since it's in Cologne, and also the Chocolate Museum, with free samples from the chocolate fountain, and, of course, the home of Carnival. Carnival starts in Cologne on November 11th at 11 p.m. and continues for the next 3 months until Ash Wednesday. Valsburg was the next point on our trip. It's the highest point in the Netherlands and only a half hour from my aunt's family. It's a whopping 322 meters, or 1,059 feet above sea level. But it also gave us the opportunity to be in 3 different countries all at the same time. I have never realized how close everything is in Europe. After visiting Germany, Belgium, and Netherlands simultaneously, it was off to the cows in Netherlands and biking in Belgium. Germany is filled with little towns, similar to this town of Monschau, buildings that have settled in all sorts of interesting ways, cobblestone streets that wind whimsically from shop to restaurants, friendly statues. My wife and I were finally seeing the appeal of such a small town and life in Germany. Aachen was where we went next. Charlemagne's center during his reign. In fact, he's still there in a gold box right now. Charlemagne chose Aachen because of the natural springs that you can still drink out of, as long as you can't read the warning signs that are written in German next to the fountain. For the next part of the trip, my wife and I left our family in Germany and decided to explore the country that my aunt first fell in love with, France. We went to Paris, the city of lights, and especially the city of water. The Arc de Triomphe, Napoleon's War Memorial, starting the standard of, if the French can build it, you can walk up it. Many years ago, the Bishop of Paris was decapitated. The bishop was upset by this, so he picked up his head, walked around until he found what he felt was the proper place to meet his maker. And this is where Notre Dame was built by the French. So of course you can walk up it. Notre Dame has beautiful architecture and the weirdest sails. Here in Notre Dame, you can purchase a Notre Dame medallion for €5 in front of the patron saint of souvenirs. The Louvre, home of the most statuesque beauties in the entire world. Oh wait, that was only one beauty. Let me try again. The Louvre, home of the most statuesque beauties in the entire world. And once again, if the French can build it, you can walk up it. France was wonderful. This was the first European country my aunt lived in, and I could see why she fell in love with it. Now it was time to see the country with a real road trip. 3 teenage girls, 4 adults, all in a very compact Opel. 4 days worth of luggage, all in the tiniest of places. We traveled south down the romantic road to Schwabiland, right next to Bavaria. Right next to Bavaria. Bavaria is home to the only museum I've ever seen dedicated to the working woman and her dedication to ironing. With Rothenburg and its immense city walls, it reminded me much of France. If the Germans built it, you could also climb up it, and of course the wonderful Bavarian pretzels. Now it was off to the Alps and more climbing. We explored the castles of King Ludwig of Bavaria. Ludwig built 6 castles during his life. The first was here with his mother. Then right across the valley, another castle dedicated to his favorite opera involving swans. 40 kilometers away, he built another castle for his gardens. He built another castle on one of his favorite islands. Eventually, Ludwig built so many castles that he ran Bavaria into bankruptcy. Ludwig then went for a swim with the swans and never returned. The Alps were amazing. We crisscrossed between Austria and Deutschland. The people in Lederhosen, the food, the lakes, the mountains, all were vivid and beautiful. After 5 countries in 10 days, I can certainly see why my aunt made a home here. With my wife, my aunt, my uncle, and my cousins, we traveled by plane. We hopped. We rode in a very tiny car. We walked along pillars. We rode bikes. We took boats, and we even took a fish. I came to realize that my aunt didn't leave her family. She went to make one of her own. One that is welcoming, generous, loving, and extremely funny. She fell in love with not only my uncle, but also with Europe. It wasn't until I visited that I really understood. Tschüss!